Hi, my name's Joe Lavers, Senior Business Development Manager for Wendy Wu Tours, and I'm going to talk to you today about Peru. And it really is one of those countries that truly captures the imagination. Enchanting tales of long lost settlements high up in the mountains, romantic colonial towns and cities, and a plethora of woolly llamas. And as well as all this, Peru really has a fantastic, rich and complex heritage that combines Latino, Incan and indigenous tribes and traditions in a colourful and fascinating tapestry. And it's easy to stumble across this at every corner. And of course, it's crowned by the magnificence of Machu Picchu. So Peru really is a country bringing with treasures to discover and explore. And on our Panoramic Peru tour, of course, with Wendy Wu Tours, you're going to be able to explore those. So let me just take you through just a few of the highlights of this amazing country. So on this tour, you'll start in Lima, also known as the City of the Kings and rich in heritage. And it's the historical capital. And you'll spend time here and then you'll make your way through the Sacred Valley up to obviously what is one of the key highlights of this tour, Machu Picchu. And then you'll visit Cusco and Puno, taking a fabulous train journey. You'll sail across Lake Titicaca as well. And then you'll even get to see the condors at Colca Canyon. So this is an absolutely amazing tour. And I'm just going to go through just a few more of these highlights in a little bit more depth. So our tour starts in Lima, which is a really big city, population of about 10 million people, originally named the City of the Kings, and it's Peru's historical capital. And you'll have a fantastic time here. You're going to see some amazing UNESCO World Heritage sites, colonial architecture, and 17th century San Francisco Monastery, for example, which is a real fabulous example of Spanish Baroque architecture. Beautifully preserved colonial mansions, and you'll also have a fantastic experience where we take you to a pisco tasting. Now, pisco is a brandy made by distilling and fermented grape juice into a high proof spirit, developed in the 16th century by Spanish settlers, and were the recipe for the famous pisco sour cocktail, a classic Peruvian drink that's sweet with key lime juice, egg whites, syrups, Anagosta bitters, and of course pisco. So what a fabulous way to start your tour, and of course we'll have amazing food in a local restaurant. And then from Lima we'll move to the Sacred Valley, home to the Incan citadels, beautiful landscapes, and we'll begin in the charming town of Pisac, and we'll visit the colourful markets to mingle with the locals and to browse the amazing Peruvian handicrafts. After visiting some of the various communities in the Sacred Valley and the surrounding areas, we'll then board the Panoramic Vista Dome train for the journey up to Machu Picchu. And we'll transfer on a bus for our journey to the actual ruins from Aguas Calientes, which is where the train actually takes you to. And of course, this is one of the world's greatest archaeological discoveries. Sits on a mountain ridge just short of 2,500 meters above the Sacred Valley, and was built in 1450. And it was abandoned for about 100 years later and left pretty much undiscovered, although the local people knew of it. But it wasn't until 1911 when it was really brought to international attention. And it's a classic example of Incan style and was built to worship the sun. So the best times to see it are at sunset and sunrise. And after our time, you also have lots of other excursions that you can join in and around the Machu Picchu area. Or alternately, you could also go back in again on your second day and visit these fantastic ruins. It's totally up to you. So from the fantastic highlight of Machu Picchu, there's still more highlights to come. We'll travel to Cusco, and this has really got some of the richest heritage in Latin America, and again a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we'll tour the area with visiting the Plaza de Armas, which is once the heart of the Incan capital. And you'll really get to see some amazing things heading out of the town to see the Red Fortress. And you'll also have the option to take part in a chocolate making tour, followed by a Peruvian dinner and a folklore dance show. And then we'll take the train from Cusco to Puno. And this journey is amazing through the Andean landscapes on the shores of Lake Titicaca, the largest lake in Latin America, and passing through the fabulous Peruvian highlands. The train's got 4 dining cars, a bar car and an observation car. And along the way, you'll get a gourmet lunch prepared with exquisite Andean ingredients. And there'll also be music and dance shows on board as well. So a train journey to be truly savoured. You'll also have the opportunity to spend some time on Lake Titicaca itself with a little boat trip that will take you out to the floating reed islands, which is the inhabitat of the indigenous Urus tribe. And they will explain their history and the history of the area. And you'll get the opportunity to speak to some of the residents and help you understand their way of life and gain a real cultural insight into this fantastic place. And then we will visit another UNESCO World Heritage Site, and once the stronghold of the Inca tribes, where you'll find wonderful textiles made by the island's men here, and you'll tour the islands and enjoy lunch before transferring back to Puno. We'll then travel to the Colca Canyon, and although not as famous as the Grand Canyon, it is actually twice as deep. It's the world's deepest canyon at nearly 11,000 feet. You've got breathtaking scenery here, and it's also home to the giant Andean condor. And also lots of other wildlife, so you can look out for flamingos, Andean ducks, llamas, of course. And a real fantastic highlight here for me is that when we travel to Chive, we'll actually enjoy the view of the terraces of the Colca Valley, but also have time to bathe in the natural hot springs, as there's quite a few volcanoes in and around this area. And one of them is actually the source of the Amazon River. Finally, we travel to Arequipa, and it's got fabulous colonial architecture here, surrounded by volcanoes, and it really is quite a sight. You can head to the Carmen Alto viewpoint, for an example, and the UNESCO listed Plaza de Armes, but also the monastery of Santa Catalina. And you can then continue for a real treat to the San Camilo market. And as I said before, we'll buy some ingredients here and you'll cook a traditional dish with a local family and then dine together with them. Before then, flying from Arequipa back to Lima, and that's where we will have our farewell dinner. And of course, as with a lot of Wendy Wu tours, if you want to add something on, you can. We've got a full range of extensions, but my favourite and a real once in a lifetime opportunity, we've got a couple of different ways that you can visit the Galapagos Islands with us. So please do get in touch if you've been interested in this tour of Peru and maybe adding on a Galapagos extension. Thank you very much.